Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro every day, and today, Sylvia was having trouble with the needle. That makes sense, the needle is one of the more difficult bosses. On Gold Stake, typically the plan is to play 3 or 4 pairs per round. Against the needle, you only have one hand, you can't play that many pairs. Even if your plan is to play a one-shot hand, like a one-shot straight or one-shot 4 of a kind, often you're using your extra hands as pseudo discards, so throw away your hands like you're using a discard against the needle. You can't do that. You have 2 discards to find your straight, to find your one-shot hand, that's it. Very often the needle is even more difficult than the water. That's the one that takes away all your discards. So if you want to try this one yourself, you can get the seed from the video description. And when you're ready, let's go Gold Stake blue deck. First boss is diamonds. There is an investment tag. Usually that's a good sign. Usually that's a good start. The only question is, can we reasonably beat the big blind? And I think on the blue deck with the extra hand, I think the answer is yes. All right, often against the big blind, the plan is to play 1.5 5-card hands, or maybe 2 5-card hands, maybe some combination of straights and flushes. Here we have, it's the worst. It's 2 of each. So I'm thinking, okay, we could discard going for the diamonds flush. We could discard going for the spades flush or something like that. I like this idea. If we discard this way, we can go for the diamonds. I get to keep the 2 9s in case I draw an extra 9. It's very unlikely, but it is technically possible. I could draw a 10, and then that could give us an opening to draw a straight. Let's try to get diamonds, maybe. All right, and we did get really lucky here with the diamonds. That's okay. Now, because we got the 300-point hand, now I only need 140 points. You can actually win with 3 pairs. So either play 3 separate pairs, or you can play 2 pair and then follow up with a pair. So kind of the worst case scenario is 2 pair plus a pair. That's 2 hands. That cost me $2. I think depending on what deck you're on, that could be reasonable. So maybe additional consideration here. Because I have 4 clubs, I'm actually pretty close to the flush. Probably we should just go for the flush. But if you're out of discards, if you have only 2 hands left or something like that, this is a very safe line. You play the 2 pair and you follow up with a high pair. But we are in a very comfortable position here. We can just play the ace high flush, no problem. These early couple rounds, how many hands you play matters a lot. Later on it doesn't matter, but early on it does, because $1 or 2 difference can change all of this in the first shot, and then that's a huge snowballing possibility. So for example, let's say you only have $9. If I only have $9, if I played 2 extra hands in the big blind, maybe you use 2 hands as discards, then I can't buy Golden Joker and Buffoon Pack. And so what would I do in that situation? If I could only have 1, what would I pick? Maybe you wouldn't even consider Golden Joker. Maybe you're thinking, okay, I have investment tag. I get $25 immediately. I get additional interest. Maybe I don't need Golden Joker for that. Golden Joker is eternal. If I take Golden Joker as an eternal, then I have 1 less Joker slot for the rest of the game. And so maybe when I get to the end game, I'm not going to be able to score enough points. I'm not going to be able to beat the needle, for example. Typically what I say is, especially with this early game money, on Gold Stake, 1 value generator as an eternal is totally fine. Very rarely do you find 5 jokers that are actually relevant. Very rarely do you find 5 jokers that are sort of irreplaceable. You can always make swaps. Even with just 4 jokers, you just pick the best 4, and then that's good enough. If I take Golden Joker here, it pays for itself kind of immediately, and then continues paying for itself, or giving me additional value over the next couple rounds, so I can leverage that value into immediately buying a bunch more jokers. So I would just take Golden Joker and go next. I guess you asked the question, can I reasonably beat this boss? and maybe if I'm playing on the blue deck specifically with an extra hand, I can use that extra hand as a discard to play maybe 2 flushes, hearts flush, spade flush, clubs flush, then you're fine. Also an extra hand, it does score points, so maybe the throwaway hand is a pair that scores 50 points or something like that. We should be fine. But because we did get very lucky in the big blind, we got 2 very good hands. We can go Golden Joker and Buffoon Pack. You go Buffoon Pack first, so I have more information. All right, misprint early plus mult is very powerful, but we just said unnecessary. Also, since it is a rental, then we don't take it. Could be Square Joker instead. Very often on Gold Stake, this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for. Once this gets up to 100, maybe 150 chips, then every hand kind of scores the same amount of points. So if you play a pair, the difference between 110 chips versus 160 chips maybe is not that big a difference, or 210 chips versus 260 chips is maybe not that big a difference once you load up the square. And then so very often in the end game, what you could do is square up in the beginning and then play a high straight later, or play a high full house later. You can apply the chips to any hand. Now that I have the square, do we take the Buffoon Pack? I think always I'm taking Golden Joker here. Let's go next. All right. Now we ask the question, can I win with 5 pairs? The answer is no. Can I win with 2 pair 5 times? The answer is also no. We have to respect the fact that these cards are debuffed and they score slightly less chips. Very rapidly we'll get into a situation where we don't care about the debuff, but for now we do care. Early on we do care. So maybe what we do is we play the straight, 10 high straight, and then we can also square up after that. All right, now aces and kings, expecting about 100 points for this. Great. I can go 9s and 2s. This will be even less because we have 2s and then also we have debuffed cards. All right. 3 5s. I think 3 of a kind is too much. If it's 30 and then it goes to 40 and then Square Joker is 12, so like 50 times 3, I think it's too much. We could play a high card with the queen. I'm going to try to get a pair. I could play the pair of 5s. I think I'm going to keep the 5s because the 3 of a kind we know is safe, is definitely going to win for us. Let's try to get another pair. Someone asked me when discarding for pairs, should I discard 5 or should I discard 4 or should I discard 3? It depends on what you're trying to draw. Usually, regardless of the probabilities of drawing pairs, if you just discard 5, that allows you to draw not just a pair, but draw gold cards and blue seals and just like dig through your deck. And so I suggest play 5 at a time, draw 5 at a time. But here, maybe I keep the queen. So like if I discard the queen and maybe I draw an ace, then it's going to be really hard to draw the ace compared to trying to pair a queen. Maybe not. Maybe try again, pair the queen. I can play a pair of kings, which we know doesn't score 100 points. And then we can follow up with 3, could be 4 5s, maybe something like that. All right, we want to play as many pairs as possible, not just play the high card there, because we do have the potential to get Supernova. You might think, okay, well, you know, you can't necessarily play around every Joker, but Supernova is a common Joker, so we might as well. Immediately get rewarded with Telescope here. If we play a lot of pairs. Actually, I played 2 pair too many times. Whoops. We'll figure it out. We'll play a lot of pairs. Boss is going to debuff some stuff. Blackboard we don't take as a rental perishable. If it wasn't perishable, do we take the blackboard? Is it strong enough that I take it? For me, probably not. The question is like, is it irreplaceable? I think I don't take the early rental. Definitely we can afford it because we have Golden Joker. But if this wasn't perishable, I still wouldn't take the blackboard here. I'm very confident in my ability to generate money and then reroll and get different stuff. Could take the bootstraps here. Definitely going into the next round with no molt is risky, so take the bootstraps. Do I want these standard packs? Sometimes the answer is no. But since I have Golden Joker and I have $28 in the bank, let's look for some value generators. Could take a 4 as a foil is particularly powerful, but maybe with the square joker, the foil matters not very much. Now, do we want another standard pack? I think the answer is also yes. Looking for those value generators, and we get punished. We miss. So we lose $1 of interest. Maybe this is not the worst case scenario. The bootstraps is smaller. Maybe that is a benefit to us for the bootstraps to be smaller. All right, I want to try to play the smallest pairs that I can. I want to play pairs because of the telescope. If I want to grow my square joker, maybe it makes sense to play high card instead. But maybe it doesn't matter. With 8 molt on the bootstraps, maybe it doesn't matter. Play a pair of 2s. All right, so the weakest possible pair wins. We might as well play a pair of 6s here. Might as well. All right. Okay. Can't go to the moon. 1 value generator as an eternal is great. 2 is way too risky. I want the standard pack. Let's go Arcana first in case we get a Hermit. Fool does nothing here. We can take Judgment. Rather than making spades, we get a Chad. So in the short term, one thing to keep in mind, the Chad is going to be extra chips, which means extra points, which means we won't get to square up as much. Do I want this mega standard pack for $8? $8 is expensive. Going down to 18 here feels bad. But maybe, again, because we have a Golden Joker, and then also making the bootstraps smaller is actually better for us. And we do get rewarded with, we got a gold seal here, we got a gold card. When you open a Jumbo Standard Pack, there's, on average, at least 1 seal. Every 5 cards, there's at least 1 seal. So gold seal is great with the Chad, for sure. We could take a gold 8 as well. Some consideration for the glass 6 is very powerful with the Chad, but not going to matter in the early game when we don't have very high levels. Obviously gets better when you have the telescope, but I think I just keep taking those value generators if the plan is to play pairs with the square joker. Let's go next. All right, so now I'm looking for low pairs. Could be a pair of 7s, could be discard all of the aces probably. How about a pair of 3s? Pair of 3s is 400. I can play a pair of 4s. That's 490. I am concerned about scoring too many points. Let's do something like that. Okay, so I can play the 7, not as a high card, but I could play a pair. I could play a pair of 6s. My concern is if I play the pair of 6s with the extra chips, I think that actually wins. So maybe we don't do that. Just play the pair of 7s. We didn't get to maximum square up, but maybe that's fine. All right, $42. That is quite a bit. Definitely I'm taking Arcana here, probably Jumbo, probably Telescope. So let's go Arcana first. Could be Death. So there's some consideration. You go, because it is a mega pack, you go Temperance first, Death second. And then that way, if we find a Fool later, we can use the Fool to copy Death, but it's not super likely for that to matter. Probably we go Judgment first, and then Temperance is worth an extra $2. Maybe you could go standard pack first, and the standard pack gives you more information before opening the Arcana pack. Maybe we should have done that. Could be a foil jack. Now that we have the Chad, the foil matters way more. But I think I'm still going to prioritize these value generators. Get the gold seal. Alright, now we have 30 bucks. We could go one more. It does make the boots smaller, if that's the thing that we care about. Or we can just go next. Yeah, maybe. If I keep the 30 bucks, I can potentially buy the voucher in the next shop. I do want to play the 8. What I don't want to happen is I don't want the 8 to win. So let's play the pair of 3s. Debuffed pair scores less points. Okay, I can play a pair of 4s. Gold seal is debuffed. I'm looking for my 8. So pair of 4s. And you could consider, okay, we could go for the superposition, try to get the tarot card. I think I just care about the gold seal and then maybe discard and try to draw that gold card. Maybe. If not, there's the gold seal 8. All right, we've got the telescope, but we have not seen any celestial packs. Bummer. But I'm not going to complain about having a bunch of gold seals, obviously. Okay, we get the red card, which I think is a reasonable alternative to the bootstraps. So here, again, this is a great combination. Square Joker gives us chips, red card gives us molt, and then so every hand just scores the same. It doesn't matter what we play. Boss says 1 and 7 to get face down cards. You could consider taking the riffraff and try to get a photograph off of it, but photograph plus chat, it's not going to do that much unless we have a blue seal. So maybe the telescope makes it better. Let's go, before we go celestial, the last card that we used was this temperance. And so maybe I don't open this yet. Do I want this red card? I guess could sell the Chad, but maybe if you have the gold seals, you don't sell the Chad. So I don't take the riffraff. I do take the red card. It would be very rare for us to find something better. Some consideration for opening the spectral pack first. I think what I want to do is I want to reroll for tarot cards first before opening the spectral pack. Let's go one more. Alright, Glutinous Joker, Crafty Joker, 2 more Eternals we don't need. There's a Constellation. Constellation is the real deal, we should take it. This has awkwardness with this. If I take the Constellation, I have to give up something, and if I give up something, then I'm pretty weak, to be honest. So let's go Spectral Pack first. Hex is not something that I'm willing to do. Red Seal is not something that I care about. So maybe I skip for the red card. Yeah, on Gold Stake, I just don't care about red seals. Alright, now that we have the +3 molt, maybe I don't need the boot as much. That's what the question is. Yeah, we could do that. Alright, so we have a Celestial pack, and we have the Guaranteed Mercury card, and the question is, do we skip for 3 molt, or do we take the Mercury for the Constellation? Probably Constellation here is what I care about. So now I have 3 Jokers, which I can't sell. Though, maybe if I have the Telescope and I level up my pairs, maybe then I can sell Square Joker later. Do I want to reroll here? What can we get? We could get something, and then we sell the Chad. Maybe I don't want to do that. Let's go next. Alright, so now, I guess we could have taken the Planet Voucher in the shop to grow the Constellation faster. Now we do have some concern about our pairs being not enough. I'm going to keep the 7 in case I draw the Gold Seal 7. So let's play the pair of Queens just to see. Oh, that's fine. That's plenty. Actually, I play the pair of aces and put constellation over here. All right, so that's 800. Can I get a weaker pair? Maybe could be a pair of threes as a weaker pair. Or I should use all my discards first in case we draw the gold seals. Maybe. I guess I could play high card. Maybe it doesn't matter. All right, the pair of sevens and then the pair of eights. Could be a pair of eights. Yes. All right, next round we do need 50% more, so what we're looking for is one more booster pack for the red card. Buffoon pack. We can look, but I'm planning on skipping. Could be Supernova instead of this red card. That would be an upgrade. That would be better. And so now we ask the question, okay, do we want to potentially sell the Chad and then taking the Supernova doubles our molt? That seems pretty strong. We could sell the Square Joker, but of course the Square Joker gives us chips, actually quite a bit of chips. Maybe if I take this Celestial pack, maybe Square Joker matters less. I think long-term Square Joker matters less, so the Chad is currently a value generator. Maybe I'm supposed to sell the value generator now. So maybe I want to leverage the value generator in order to grow the constellation. I think Square Joker we sell eventually anyway. Might as well sell it now. Take the constellation. As long as we are guaranteed the Mercury card here. We could take Venus. I should have taken Venus first in case we find a fool. So you go Mercury second. Let's go next. All right. I have an 8. I want to play this pair. No way this pair wins. Okay. I'm looking for a pair of 8s. I'm looking for a pair of 7s. So I can play the pair of 8s with the Chad. And then follow it up with a pair of 4s. Sorry, what was the boss again? Oh yeah, boss is face down stuff. Alright. Saturn Mega Celestial Pack. Let's go standard pack. Could be a Gold Seal 10. I think the answer is still yes. I still want to take more value generators. We do get a Planet Merchant. So I guess the question is, do you want to take the Planet Merchant to grow the constellation? Usually I say no. But maybe in this particular instance, maybe the answer is yes. So I guess the consideration is I already have Jokers, which I'm not likely to sell. I mean, 3 of them are Eternal. We also have Supernova, which we're not likely to sell. And so if I'm not getting Jokers, I might as well get planets. That's the consideration. If these weren't Eternal, I wouldn't take the Planet Merchant here. Even with Constellation, I wouldn't take Planet Merchant because I want to have access to Jokers and potentially replace some stuff. All right. Mega Celestial, sure. And then 28 bucks we go next. The order here probably doesn't matter. The cards I take probably don't matter. So I like 4 of a kind, especially with the Chad, because then later on maybe you can play like 3 glass cards. Maybe. Let's go next. All right, how about a pair of 2s? Okay. Pair of threes doesn't win. The 10 might win. Not if I play it as high card, actually. So, what's this? Oh, that's hearts. So, what if I play high card 10? Oh, 7 of clubs. Bummer. I guess I play the pair of 10s now. Bummer. Whatever, we got plenty of resources. This boss, discard random cards. Okay. Do we want to skip for 40 bucks? With the Chad and the gold seals, probably we don't want to skip. There is plutonium here. We just use mercury. So, paintbrush first, and then open the Arcana packs. Paintbrush so that you have an extra card here. I could make a gold card, I could make a rock. So I think some consideration for making a rock. You know, I have a lot of molt, I don't have a lot of chips. Maybe I take the rock and you retrigger with the Chad and that's 150 chips. Or just make a gold card. If I'm gonna make a gold card, almost always face cards make a gold card. Sure. Mega Arcana pack. Alright, I could make a steel card and then copy it. Is that worth passing on the Hermit? Probably not. So we go Hermit first. And then turn a 2 into a 7. Now we have another gold seal, which means we can re-roll if we want. We'll take an Earth card. We could go one more. And then pick up Uranus. I guess I don't have room for the runner. Let's go next. So now, all right, we can start with, could be a pair of 4s. I'm not going to use the planets right away because I don't need the points. I do want to get potentially the 7s or the 8s for the gold seal. Okay. If I play the 10s, then the pair of 8s wins. I could play the 10 as a high card. I am realizing just now that I don't need to square up. Whoops. Anyway. I didn't use the planet cards right away in case we get a fool for a death card, but if there's 2 standard packs here, I might do it. I might pull the trigger. Spaceman is kind of like the Square Joker, except... So, like, on average, it's the same, right? Every 4 hands, you get 15 chips. That's the same as the Square Joker, except the Spaceman, you can sell it. I think there's some consideration for taking the Spaceman instead of the Chad here. I guess we've got these Eternals, so... Probably we just look inside the standard pack. Glass card could be a combo with the Chad, we've been saying. But with 56 cards in the deck, maybe you're not likely to draw the glass card anyway. So I think I just skip. Glass cards, I think I skip them. Could be a gold 2. We love more value generators. But at some point, if I add gold cards to the deck, then I draw the gold seals less often, and so maybe I just skip it here. And then go one more. Another benefit of holding onto the planet cards, then there's more Mercury cards in the shop because I won't see these anymore. Let's go next. Now, pool is not a possibility anymore. Alright, pair of the queens. Alright, about 4,000 for that one. And then I could play a pair of 5s. Maybe. All right. Let's go fish. We got a pair of 7s. Okay, so I do want to play the pair of 7s. I probably only get one more hand after this. Let's discard all the 8s. Pair of the 7s. Okay, and then could be a pair of 3s. There was this boss again? Oh yeah, discard random cards. Sure. Okay, Jupiter, Plutonium. Let's go make a standard pack. Could be take one, skip one. There's another glass card, which again, you could combo with the Chad. Maybe with level 4 pairs, doesn't matter. Maybe without a blue seal, doesn't matter. Just skip. Arcana, we can reroll first. Try to get some tarot cards first. There's more plutonium. Bummer. Alright, inside the Arcana pack. There's Hermie. So now could be the situation where I use the planet cards. At least use one and then use Hermie in case a death card shows up. You could also turn the gold seal into a rock. The rebate is very strong, but maybe at this point it's not necessary. I could take Seeing Double to replace the Chad. That would be very strong. But I like having the extra money. This is premature. Too soon. 28 pairs. I could take Seeing Double instead of the red card. I think that would be bad, potentially. Go one more. Alright. Take an Earth card. And a Tower. Again, possibly for those gold seals. I'm interested. Against the Needle, the Stone card can also be very powerful in an emergency. Okay. So let's, I could do it now, but if I do it now, then it scores too many points. So let's try to get another 7. We get punished if we draw another gold seal. Okay, I could play the 7 as a high card. We can get away with one of those. If I'm playing the 7 as a high card, I only get to play 4 cards. Alright, now pair the 9s. Okay. I did not draw a pair, which is very disappointing. So I guess I can play a straight. Alright. Pair the 8s and throw those away. I guess I could just play the 8s this way. This gives me better chance that the gold card doesn't get discarded. Maybe I don't care if the gold card gets discarded. Maybe I prefer to draw the gold seals. So maybe I play this pair. Next pair wins. We know a pair of kings is already 5,000 or like 4,500. So just ship it. I don't need the rock here. There we go. 2.4 on the constellation, doing a lot of work for us. This boss, play only one hand. Maybe. Just maybe. So, Crystal Ball is fine. Actually, Crystal Ball is pretty good with the constellation because then you get, you can hold on to 3 planet cards at a time. We can go look inside a standard pack. Foil Jack that could be, again, a way to beat this boss. I think we just skip. Spectral pack. Let's try to get tarot cards. We can't get tarot cards because we have the planet voucher. Alright, could be familiar for enhanced face cards. Could be glass cards, steel cards. Maybe don't super matter. Maybe a gold card. Maybe because we have the gold seals, we don't take the familiar here. We just skip for the red card. I think makes a lot of sense. Go next. Alright. Pair the aces for about 5,000. Maybe 6,000 is okay. I can play a pair of aces. Alright. Pair the sevens or discard first. Alright, pair the sevens. Okay. Bunch of eights in hand. I can play a pair of eights. I can throw away a 9. This might win. If it wins, I'm okay, I guess. If it doesn't win, I can play a pair of 5s. I could go do the rock now. So there's a pair of 5s. And then that stone card just scores so many points. Alright. Hold on to the earth card. Celestial packs, we did take the telescope, so it's guaranteed Mercury. Here, the buffoon pack, +8 on the fortune teller. I can skip a crafty joker. So red card's 21s. Supernova's 36. Obviously red card is worse than the supernova here, but the red card is better than 50% more, so it's better than a polychrome. Alright, go one more. Pick up Uranus, and then go next. Okay, pair the aces. Okay, could be a pair of kings. I'm looking for gold seal 7, gold seal 8, gold seal 10. How about pair of 6s? No sauce on that one. Okay. Pair of 8s. Wait, did the... Oh, I turned a 7 into a rock? Okay. Would you look at that? Don't mind if I didgeridoo. Alright. How many points do we need? We need 25,000. Alright, so we got a death card. Okay. So... pick a standard pack. Holographic foil, I think we just, again, skip for the red card. Probably I would skip there regardless, unless there's a blue seal. When I'm holding a death card, I open the Arcana packs right away. So that I can reroll into another death card. There is a Fool here, so we can make a rock. And then we can use the Fool for a death card. Sure. Alright, so there's a death card, and then I do have extra money here, so we might as well reroll. Could be pick up Uranus, pick up Mars. Probably we can go one more if we want, since we have the gold seals. We have a lot of money. This is fine. Go next. Alright, so now 24 on the red card, 41 on the supernova. We have the rock in hand. So what's the best possible draw for us? We want another gold seal would be cool. If I could get gold seal 7 or 10 or something like that. There's a gold seal 10, so maybe maybe the 9 I turn into a rock. I guess having more 10s makes it easier for me to pair the 10s. Also, it is a bonus card, is kind of cool. No, I think I'm just gonna make another rock. All right, so pair of 10s, couple of rocks, something like that. Ship it. All right, ×3 on the constellation there. We almost beat it without the constellation. Anyway, so the question is like, okay, well, how do you beat the needle? Well, here are some options. One thing you could do is you could get the square joker. One thing you could do is you could get blue seals, and then you have very high level pairs. Okay, we have neither of those things. What else do we have? We have, could be supernova, could be green joker, could be bus, you know, plus 30, 40 mult or something like that. I guess it depends when. It depends when the needle is going to show up. So if I have supernova and then a red card, the red card is like we said plus 50% more. Okay, so this is part of the puzzle, but this is not the whole thing, right? So ignoring the constellation, ignoring the ×3 here, if we have just like you know, maybe like 23,000, 24,000, we have the Chad with the stone cards. And so if I have a lot of molt from jokers, it's very easy to get molt from jokers. A lot of scaling plus molt jokers. But here we've got, you know, additional chips on my cards. Molt from my jokers, chips on my cards. Make stone cards, make bonus cards. Rather than making molt cards with the Empress, use the Hierophant to make bonus cards. Anyway, that's it. So this boss has decreased level of poker hand. So again, this is the kind of boss where you want to win in one hand, I guess. If we look at the collection, the last thing we did was the death card. So I'm not going to open a celestial pack yet. Hierophant maybe mattered a little bit there. Maybe doesn't matter, generally speaking. But I can take overstock here. After buying the Hierophant, I get to see an extra card. I'm going to hold on to the Earth card so that when I re-roll, I have a better chance of getting Mercury. There's Mercury. Let's go Arcana first, in case we get a Fool. No Fool, but we do get a Soul, I guess. That's not very good for educational purposes. Oh well. So I guess we have the Chad giving us the money. Maybe we get rid of the Chad. Sure. Could make a lucky card. Could make a pair of lucky cards. Hey look, it's ya boy. Well, you're gonna sit over there. Let's go. Didn't get the death card, let's use Mercury. That's fine. Now we want to somehow remove the face cards. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and use these now. And I am going to take the Celestial Pack. My plan is to use the Hierophant here. Let's go next. Alright, so could be some bonus 8s. And save the rock for what will be the final hand when we get there. Alright, 16,000 for that one. Do I have the gold seal 7? Could be gold seal 10. How about a pair of 10s? Okay. I could play high card 10. I'm looking for a 7 or an 8. I'm gonna play the stones now, because I know it scores less points. There we go. So pair the 5s first, and then the pair of 7s will be the finisher. So now it could be a pair of 7s plus a rock. With the stone card, should be like 50% more. Go ahead and ship it. Okay. Alright, yeah, we can hold on to Uranus. Spectral Pack we can reroll first. And we get a bunch of planets, so, I don't know, hold on to your favorites, maybe? Neptune we can use. 2 booster packs is $8, so I guess go ahead and use them now. The next round we do need 50% more points, right? Could be another gold seal. At this point, ante 6, maybe we're done with the gold seals. Maybe the 10, I can go Ara. I should have just skipped for the red card. That's what we should have done. Let's go next. All right. How about a pair of 5s with a rock? Okay. I could do a pair of 8s. No rock on this one. Could be a pair of 9s. I want to play a pair of 7s, pair of 8s, pair of 10s. Maybe actually I discard the 9s here. Getting worse. So maybe we do play the pair of 7s. I can keep the king to make sure that we have a pair in hand. There we go. Yeah, so the safe thing to do is just discard this way. I guess play the pair of 10s. I didn't draw as many gold seals this round, but that makes sense. Alright, so we have the 10. If we want, we can try to draw a rock. Maybe not. Alright, so if we do this, it's one of those. Okay. Alright, standard pack, we could take a red glass card. Is not very powerful. Let's skip. Celestial pack, take another Mercury card. Okay, I'm looking for a hung man. Stone Joker, 75 chips. Hear me out. 130 chips. This is plus 50%. All right. At least you heard me out. Let's go gold card. And then go next. All right. I want to try to play the best pair that I can. So I want to play the rock. Could be 10s and a rock. Could be we play the high card first. High card which gets D-leveled, but maybe it's okay. Make a gold 9. Alright, you got me. Alright, how about... Yeah, what about this high card? There we go. Could be 2 pair. My 2 pair is pretty good. The thing that I'm looking for is I'm looking for chips, and maybe you play the 2 pair as a way of getting chips. So maybe 2 pair kings and 9s. There we go. Just as a way of preserving our pair levels. Okay, this boss. Playing a pair takes my lunch money. Bummer. Alright, so this kind of rerolls fine. Alright, for the red card we can skip an 8. And then, what's my 4 of a kind doing? Doing okay. Obviously we don't get any supernova value, but we do get red card value. All right. So how about a pair of 10s? Okay. Pair the 3s. Let's go queens instead because it's slightly more. It doesn't matter a whole lot. Pair of 7s is good with the gold seal. Could be a pair of jacks. Maybe I care about the 8, maybe I don't care about the 8, maybe I throw the rock on there. Okay. The 8s win. We get a rock. Play the rock. Okay. 4.5 on the constellation. There's Neptune. Earth. I just need tarot cards. See, this is why I don't take the planet merchant. If you think about the planet merchant is like, okay, you get more planet cards, but not only do you see fewer jokers, you also see fewer tarot cards, which are kind of important. Maybe death cards to copy my gold seals. Maybe, of course, the Hung Man for Canio. Card shark here is obviously better than Canio. Card shark might actually be better than the red card. Actually. Or better than Supernova. Yes. Against this boss, what am I trying to do? I have some ideas. Yeah, so Supernova, let's take the card shark. Let's take maybe Magician. Probably Devil doesn't matter. But I guess we can take it. Go next. Alright. So I can play a pair of 2s. I can discard first. Could be a pair of 7s. Could be we start with a pair of 2s. Sure. Then the pair of 7s. Alright, now if I play the pair of 7s, yeah, maybe I do something like that. The plus 20 was too strong there, my bad. I'm not necessarily trying to play all of my hands, but I am trying to play all of my gold seals. There's the gold seal 8. I can make a gold 10. There we go. Alright. Alright, we could spin the wheel, we could go chariot. Probably doesn't matter super much. Arcana, reroll first. Idol, we don't have room. Saturn, hold on to it. Emperor is great. So Saturn, I'm gonna use the planets. I'm gonna take the Emperor. I'm not gonna use it right away. I'm trying to get a Hung Man. So now we open the Arcana pack, or yeah, let's go open now. Fool for Mercury. Let's do this. Spin the wheel. Fine. Emperor gives me Hierophant and Empress is stuff that I don't care about, but I could use them. I could go Fool for an Emperor. I could go Justice for a glass card. If I make a glass card, the 4 of a kind that's most likely is either an 8 or a 10. So maybe I make a glass 10. Probably I don't care about that. So probably I just use the Fool for an Emperor. In which case the Empress is the thing that's least interesting to me. Alright, now Emperor, we can sell a Hierophant. Could use it, could sell it, doesn't matter. There's another Fool for an Emperor. Fool upstairs? Use Fool for the Emperor to try to find the Hung Man, or hold it in case we find a Hung Man. I think I just use it. Bummer. There's another rock. At this point, maybe we don't rock out. Let's just go one more. And Uranus is fine. Go next. Well, this is rude. How about 2 pair? Yeah, I don't think the 4 of a kind is gonna happen. I'm just gonna play 2 pair. Okay. Could be 7s. Maybe 7s and 10s. Could be 7s and 8s. 7s and 9s plus a rock. I could make a steel 10. The steel probably doesn't matter. Unless we hit the plus 20, of course. Okay. Aces and kings as 2 pair is going to be a winning hand. Let's play high card instead. High card scores nothing. I can play this 2 pair. There you go. Yeah. Let's go take the plutonium. Alright, this boss says, shuffle me Jimbos. Great. Buffoon pack probably we skip. Neptune. Saturn. Sure. Let's go, in that case, let's go Arcana first. No Hung Man, but we do get a Priestess. Okay. There's Mercury. And we don't care about a Chariot. Now that we have 14 base molt, now the Chariot matters a little bit more if we draw 2 steel cards. Maybe if we draw 2 of them. Go next. Alright, we got a rock. So, could be something like that. We don't have a supernova, which means we can play whatever hands we want. Could be a straight. Could be the 10 here. I want to turn another 10 into steel, just so that we have access to that. I can play the pair of 10s with the rock. I guess now I kind of want to win the round, but maybe I still want to draw more gold seals, if possible. I can play a pair of 7s, could play 2 pair here. That's it. One more? Could be. Okay. 5.9 in the constellation. There's a Mercury card. Okay. Once again, another opportunity to get the Hung Man for Canio. Okay. Tower we don't super care about. Look, Temperance for 20 bucks or grow the constellation. 20 bucks, that's 2 rerolls at least, maybe 3 rerolls. Maybe turn a 2 into a rock. Cool. More chances to get a hungman. Supernova is 63. Emperor. Gotta do it. Fool for Emperor. Gotta try it. Fool for Emperor again. Let's spin the wheel. Yeah, bummer. Never lucky. Empress. We don't care about. Alright, well. Beans. How about do some discarding? Pair of 8s, couple rocks. Pair of the 5s. Hoping to draw a 10 here. We don't have too many 10s in the deck. Maybe just enough. Cool. Hey, look, halvesies. Could be useful. I guess red card's only 33, so this is actually pretty good. Actually. Alright, holding my planets again. There's a fool. Okay, so now we go Arcana, try to get a hungman. If there's no hungman, I could use a fool for an Emperor, I could use a fool for Temperance. If I want tarot cards, Emperor is better than 20 bucks. 20 bucks does not buy you 2 tarot cards, but 20 bucks does buy us a lot of planet cards for the constellation, so let's go Emperor instead. And then in that case, use the Emperor. Yes. Alright, so I am curious if we... I mean, we are going to hang him here, right? So, Queen and Jack, we hang him. So, let's see how many tarot cards we get in however many rerolls. Be a steel card. No tarot cards here, but there is a banner. There's an earth card. There's a Mercury card. Maybe we don't use right away. No, I have to. Okay. And so that's it. No tarot cards, which is not unexpected. On average, it takes like 3.5 shops to see 1 tarot card. And it's not this. This is not the issue. It's not because of this. We are seeing a lot of jokers instead of tarot cards because that's normal. You just see a lot of jokers and you see not a lot of tarot cards. Oh well. Look at driver's license. 1 off. Go next. Alright. Shuffle me Jimbos. Okay. So if you really wanted to find a pair, you could discard like this. Could be play a pair of 7s. Okay. I saw the plus 20, so that means this is half Joker. We can go steel here if you want. We can play the 6s. You can play a bunch of rocks if you want. Sure. Would you look at that? Yeah, I guess here's some stuff that we want to pay attention to. Here's some stuff that we want to keep in mind. What's nice about the red card and the bus and the green joker is this kind of generic mold that you can apply to any hand. You know, it doesn't matter whether we play pairs or whether we play two pair, or, you know, it could be four of a kind in the end game. You know, in the end game here with the leveled up hands, full house, four of a kind about the same, four of a kind pair about the same. So if you have the boss that says no repeat hand types, now you have some options. If you have the boss that says you can't play pairs because I'm going to take away all your money, now you have some options. If you have the boss potentially, what is it? No discards. Okay, well then, if you can apply your plus mult to any hand, then it doesn't matter whether or not you have discards. You can just play garbage. If you have the needle, which says you only have one hand, maybe then you try to get some kind of higher ranking hand. But it's not just this. It's not just the plus mult effects. It's also having the generic chips effects. And so one kind of generic chips effect, of course, is the square joker. You can play whatever garbage to grow the square joker, and then in the end game you have an extra 100 or 200 chips, sometimes as much as 300, very rarely, but sometimes 300 chips on the square joker. And then now my high card with 300 extra chips scores the same amount as my pair, or close enough. Not exactly the same, close enough. You can also get the same kind of effect from stone cards. Stone cards are insane value, 50 chips per stone card. Obviously it's easiest to play high card plus a bunch of stone cards, high card, maybe even 5 stone cards. Even if you play a pair, then you can still add a few stone cards to your pair. The problem with stone cards is it's difficult to get a lot of stone cards. If you open a standard pack, usually you don't just take just a blank stone card from a standard pack. You might take a gold card, you might take a seal card, glass card, lucky card, but you don't usually take the stones. You have to rely on just the tower as a way of making stones. Maybe there's Marble Joker that can give you stones, but usually it's just the tower. And so as powerful as stones are, you don't get that many of them. That's like kind of why they are so powerful, is because you don't get very many of them. So if there's only 4 stones in your deck, then even if you're playing 2 pair, you can only add 1 stone card, but you only have 1 stone card to add anyway. You only have 1 stone card in your hand anyway. But if you do manage to add a bunch of stone cards to one hand, you get one very big hand. And that could be a way of beating the needle, where you only have one hand. That could be a way of beating the, what was the other boss we had? Decreased level poker hand. So this, you can repeat hands, but maybe you don't want to. This, you can play your pairs, but maybe you don't want to. And maybe having things like stone cards and blue, or the square joker, maybe those help with that. Also blue joker helps with that. Red card helps with that. Bus helps with that. Of course, constellation here very strong, but was not necessarily the strongest thing that we were doing. Take care, everyone.